Hi, welcome. Here's your Go Math lesson 17.3. All right, now we are finally going to start centimeters and meters. How to measure in meters different from measuring in centimeters. So centimeters and meters are two different things. The same as inch and centimeter are two different things. Meters and centimeters are two different things. So let's find out. We're going to find out today if a centimeter or a meter is larger. It says draw or write to describe how you did each measurement. So let's read what do they want us to measure. As a small group, use a 1 meter piece of yarn to measure a distance marked on the floor with masking tapes, and have them measure the same distance using a sheet of paper folded in half lengthwise. Yeah, we're not doing that. Okay, so skip that. All right. A meter is definitely larger. The reason we didn't do that is because onliners, you guys can't do it, and here we have to social distance, so we can't get that close to each other. So I'll just explain it a different way. 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. So 1 meter is bigger than a centimeter. It's huge. The real door is about 200 centimeters tall, and the real door is also 2 meters tall. So 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. Okay? 1 meter is the same as... That was really, really bad. We're going to try that again. 1 meter is the same as...
100 centimeters.
We're going to try it one more time. 1 meter is the same as...
100 centimeters.
Very good. 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. So the real door is about 200 centimeters tall. The real door is 2 meters tall. So this is where we're going to start converting, like we did with inches, remember, and feet. Today we're going to learn how to convert from meters to centimeters. It should be pretty easy because 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So, all right, so let's find the real object of a chair. We're going to measure it to the nearest centimeter, and then we're going to measure it to the nearest meter. Now, Miss Yusuf, we can measure centimeter using our ruler, can't we? Yes? You see the side that says CM, where the lines are closer together? Use your ruler. Now, to measure with a ruler in meters, well, we know 1 ruler is 30 meters, so 3, 6, 9. So about 3.5 rulers are 1 meter. Okay? So what you're going to do is we're going to measure our chair, bookshelf, and any wall in the classroom. Okay? At home, you guys are going to measure a chair, a bookshelf, and any wall at your house. Okay? I'll give you time to go do that. You can pause the video now. All right, so in the classroom, we have meter sticks. I'm sure at home you do not have a meter stick. I'm not sure where you would even get one from, to be honest. But again, you can use measuring tape. Use measuring tape, you know, those metal measuring tapes. You can use measuring tape to measure in meters. You just have to convert from centimeters to meters, okay? And your parents can help you with that. Also, I'm also going to show you guys how to do that later. But we're using the centimeters side of the stick, and it's a meter stick. All right, so you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to pause the video now. All right. Her backpack is here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, sorry, moving on. Centimeters. We measured our chair, and we said our chairs are about 70 centimeters. And remember, 100 centimeters is 1 meter, so it's 0 meters. It's not a meter yet. It's still at 70. 70 is less than 100, right?
Yeah.
So don't put anything for meters. All right. Let's talk about the bookshelf. Okay, so the bookshelf was about 74 centimeters. I measured the bookshelf, the width, not the height. Look at how the arrow is pointing this way. So they want you to measure it this way, width, not the length. All right, so we said it was 74 centimeters. Is 74 centimeters any meters?
No.
No, it's not because it's less than 100, so just leave it blank. Now we're going to measure the wall. For the wall, our wall is probably different than your wall at home, but when we measured our wall, it was 245 centimeters. The arrow says measure the width of your wall. Okay. It says measure the width of your wall. We measured the length of our wall because our classroom is humongous, and that would be really hard for us to do without crowding next to each other. So instead, I just decided to do the length. Okay? Now, if you want to do the width of your home instead, then that's fine. If you want to do the length, then that's fine because you're at home and it's probably a safer environment. All right? Now, let's talk about converting. We know that 100 centimeters is the same as 1 meter, right? So 200 centimeters is how many meters? 2 meters. What about the 45? Just don't put anything there. Just 2 meters. If you want to be exact, you could say 2 meters and 45 centimeters, but they didn't say exact, they said about. So it's about 2 meters long. Again, we did it the long way, not the wide way. Converting these centimeters to meters should be pretty easy because we know that 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. Okay? Now, it says measure the chalkboard. I'm going to measure this whiteboard, and I'm going to keep the recorder on so you guys can see me measure. So when I measure the chalkboard, I'm going to use my meter stick, my whiteboard, but chalkboard, whiteboard, same thing. And we're measuring the width of it. Look at the arrow, how it's side to side. So we're measuring the width of the board behind me. So if I start it right here, if I start right here at the side, that's 100 centimeters, which is 1 meter. And then I'm going to keep my finger here, and then I'm going to measure from here to here, and that's 60. So it's 160 centimeters, not meters, centimeters. Because remember, meters is bigger than centimeters. 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. Okay? So it's what? So 160 centimeters is about how many meters? What? Good. It's about 2 meters. It's about 2 meters because 60 centimeters is more than 50. So you could write 1 meter or 2 meters here. I'm going to write 1 meter just because I don't want to confuse you. Because 2 meters is right, Dustin. You're right. But that's more of rounding, and I don't want to confuse you with the rounding of the meters. Centimeters is going to be too much. So I'll just make it super basic. It's 1 meter. Okay? But again, if you're rounding up, it's actually 2. I guess I'll put 2 because the more correct answer would be 2. Because 160 centimeters is closer to 200, so it's closer to 2 meters, right? All right, let's keep going. Mr. Ryan, I know this seems kind of confusing now, but I promise if you just remember that 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters, you'll do well on your tests and on all the questions. Because the test and the review questions, all they ask is for you to understand that 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters, okay? Mr. Ryan walked next to a barn. He wants to measure the length of the barn. Would the length be a greater number of centimeters or a greater number of meters? If he's going to measure the length, that means from up and down of the barn, will he use meters or centimeters, class? Meters. He will use meters. A barn is huge, guys. You would use meters, not centimeters. If you use centimeters, centimeters are small. That's going to take you forever. Can you imagine measuring the length of a barn with a ruler? No, you would use a meter stick. All right, so would the length be a greater number of centimeters? Oh, but that's not what the question says. The question said, would the length be a greater number of centimeters or a greater number of meters? It would be a bigger number of centimeters. Remember? Because 100 centimeters is 1 meter. So if let's say that the barn I'm just going to round it. Let's say it's 7 meters long. So if 7 meters is how many centimeters? 7 meters is how many centimeters? If one, good job, 700 centimeters. 7 meters is the same as 700 centimeters. Because 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters, so 7 meters is the same as 700 centimeters. Do you get that? So the question is asking, would the length be a greater number of centimeters or a greater number of meters? What's bigger, 700 or 7? 700, so it would be a greater number of centimeters. It would be a greater number of centimeters. And then it says explain your answer. Why? Because 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. I just wrote centa, but you have to write centimeters. I ran out of room. Oops, sorry. All right, number 6. Write the links in order from shortest to longest. From shortest to longest. We're going to watch Professor Berger and find out. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to watch Professor Berger, see if he can better explain to us meters and centimeters.
The director couldn't make it in, so I'm going to direct today. I'm so excited to be working with you today, Mr. Berger.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Mr. Director. Yes.
Now, let's see. For this piece,
yes,
I want you to express lots of emotion.
Emotion.
All right.
All right.
And action!
Mr. Ryan walked next to a school.
Cut! Just give it a little bit more emotion.
Okay, more.
Come on,
okay,
come
here
on.
we go.
Feel it. And action!
Mr. Ryan walked next to a school bus. He wants to measure the length of the school bus. Would the length be a greater number of centimeters or a greater number of meters?
Oh! Riveting! Keep going, keep going!
Let's think about it together. So here's the bus, and we want to have Mr. Ryan measure the length of the bus. And so if we think of the length, we could actually visualize the length like this. Dun, 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 dun. Wow! Now, if we measure the length of that in centimeters, what we would see would be that this would have a length of 300 centimeters. 300! That's a lot. So, 300 centimeters. Now, how many meters is that? Well, now, a meter is very, very interesting. Because a meter is actually equal to 100 centimeters. So, a meter is so large that it can actually hold 100 centimeters all in a row.
That is a lot of centimeters.
That's a lot of centimeters, but if, in fact, 100 centimeters equals 1 meter, that means that 300 centimeters would equal 3 meters. So, in fact, this length, if we were to write it in terms of meters, would actually be just 3. 3 meters equals 300 centimeters.
equals 300 centimeters.
That's exactly right, Director Joey. And so, centimeters are much smaller than meters because there's 300 centimeters that make up just 3 meters. So centimeters are much smaller than meters, and so it would take a lot more centimeters than meters to measure the length of the school bus. And that's the action.
And cut. Oh, that was fantastic.
Thank
I
you.
could barely hold back my emotions. Now, for this, let's just have a little bit more. Just give it a little bit more.
But we just finished the math riddle. What are you talking about?
That was just the rehearsal. Now, let's take it from the top and action!
I guess you can never have enough math, so we can do it again. Have fun with math. We'll see you soon.
All right, so let's keep going. All right, write these links in order from shortest to longest. So the shortest would be, what's smaller, centimeters or centimeters? What's smaller, centimeters or meters? Centimeters is smallest. So should we put centimeters or let's convert this. 200 centimeters is how many meters? 2 meters. 200 centimeters is 2 meters. Now it should be easy to put these in order. Now we're going to put them in order from shortest to longest. So what's shortest? 1 meter, 2 meter, or 10 meter?
1 meter.
1 meter is the shortest. And then what's the next shortest?
10 meters.
10 meters is shorter than 2 meters. So 2 meters is the same as 200 centimeters. You can write cm for centimeters if you want. And then the largest is what? 10 meters. You're right, it is. It's 1,000, not 10,000. It's 1,000 meters. 1,000 centimeters. All right, moving on. Okay, so now I'll go back. Now you're going to complete page 592 to 594 on your own. Okay, I apologize in advance for any confusion or any background noise. I know there was a lot going on today. And again, I apologize in advance. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll see you later. Bye.